Honorable member, you may do so now.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to present this statement to the House. In our culture, when in the presence of elders, one is expected to listen, observe, and learn. This was confirmed to me by some senior members of this House who were kind enough to share the lessons they had learned with me. On the strength of that, Mr. Speaker, it was my intention to wait a little longer before rising to speak in this chamber. However, the importance of this day requires that I set aside this self-imposed rule and make my voice heard. So thank you, Mr. Speaker, for admitting my statement. Mr. Speaker, on the 11th of February of each year, we mark the International Day of Women and Girls in Science. It is a day set aside by the United Nations in recognition of more women in the field. As we celebrate the day, we need to reflect how far we have come, but more importantly, how we can get even further. Mr. Speaker, science is a reflection of society and the people who lead it. If we are to achieve meaningful social equity between the genders, then women must be as well represented in science as men are. Women are the more populous gender and yet continue to be underrepresented in science. The result of long-standing biases against the female gender. Mr. Speaker, according to a 2017 report from the United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, Ghanaian girls are prevented from participating in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics programs by a number of factors. These include gender stereotyping, which drives social cultural beliefs about girls' inability to study STEM. There's also inadequate citizen awareness about the importance of these programs, whilst unfriendly and gender-insensitive teaching methodologies also discourage girls from entering STEM programs. Mr. Speaker, let us not forget that until recently, women were routinely shut out of many activities, including education itself. This created a self-perpetuating myth about the supposed abilities of women, which in turn led to further discrimination and exclusion. Mr. Speaker, of this have been telling. The lack of strong female role models in the sciences prevent more young girls from taking on the challenge. In shutting out the greater proportion of our population from contributing to such a significant endeavor, we deprive ourselves of talent and potentially changing innovation. Mr. Speaker, the exploits of women such as Marie Curie, the only person who won 2 Nobel Prizes in 2 separate sciences at a time when the field was even more male-dominated, should tell us what women can do when they are allowed the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, we must again remind ourselves of the present exhortation from one of our own, James Edmund Kwesi Aggrey, to educate women in order to educate the nation. The evidence shows that children who come from households in which the mother has autism are more likely to climb the education ladder. For every woman who gets into science, we are potentially placing their offspring, male as well as female, on a similar path that will benefit not only themselves, but the entire nation. Mr. Speaker, with science and technology playing an even more dominant role in our lives, the need to ensure the full participation of women and girls in the twin disciplines becomes more. The next generation of women and girls must experience none of the barriers that held their forebears back. Thankfully, Mr. Speaker, there have been efforts the world over to bring women into science. In Ghana, as of 1987, only 1 out of every 11 children in secondary school was female. The realization of this fact spurred interventions such as Science, Mathematics and Mathematics Education Clinic and the Ghana Science Clinics for Girls, led by the notable educationist Professor J.S. Janga. So successful were these interventions that they were replicated in other African countries. To these and others, we can credit the fact that as of 2015, there was 1 girl for every 3 boys in a science-related program in our secondary schools. It is not enough for a population that is more than 51% female, but it is progress. Mr. Speaker, a lot remains to be done. However, in its 2017 study, UNESCO found that in Jharkhand, for example, only 29 of the 855 girls in senior high school was pursuing science. Research also shows that the number of students, especially female graduates, in STEM-related careers is inadequate to fill the ever-increasing job opportunities in those fields. Even though women contribute a greater share of the population, they occupy only about 26% of STEM jobs as reported in 2019 by women in STEM. Mr. Speaker, in 2018, the Global Education Monitoring Team also noted that women in Ghana account for less than a quarter of all science, technology, engineering, and mathematics degrees. Data from the World Bank on gender parity for Ghana shows that access to education continues to favor boys and men, although it improved from 0.62 in 2011 to 0.77 in 2018. Mr. Speaker, the introduction of the free senior high school has brought further improvement, and the ratio for 2019-2020 academic year stood at 0.95. Again, Mr. Speaker, this is progress, but it is not enough. We have more to do, especially in ICT, natural science, mathematics and statistics, engineering, manufacturing and construction, in all of which female enrollment remains below 10%. Mr. Speaker, it must be noted some of the advances we are seeing are due to the necessary cultural changes and that address the perception of women's role in the home and at the workplace. The effort that led to more women climbing the professional...
Honourable Member, you may need to summarize the lengthy statement, or else it will lose its import.
Mr. Speaker, we will need to expose our daughters to STEM and related career options as early as possible. We can do this through our natural interactions as parents, guardians, and teachers. But we must also create special programs to address this. We can go back to the girls in science programs. We can create new programs with similar missions. We can set up STEM centers with the girls. The important thing is to allow girls a chance to learn about science, interact with mentors, and where possible, acquire basic skills in their field. We will also need to support girls in STEM with learning opportunities, Mr. Speaker. This will mean collaborating with businesses to institute internship and placement opportunities. Mr. Speaker, the urgency of this task is not in doubt. Ghana cannot be left out of the science-based revolution that is sweeping the world. We cannot do this with one hand tied behind our backs, as it were. But it is exactly what we will be doing if we do not get more women involved in science. That is why this day is expected. The opportunity is to afford us to reflect, revise, retool, and must not be missed. A generation from now, our girls will be at the forefront of global innovation. It is possible if we can begin now. Let us not let them down. Let us give them a chance to be great. Let us work to give this day, the International Day of Women and Girls in Science, its fullest meaning. Thank you once again, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you so